Praise be to you, Yahuwah my Elohim. Praise be to your Son, Yahushua my Messiah. I come at your feet in the name of your Son. Thank you for the knowledge you pour unto me, and thank you for breaking out the shackle that was bound on my face. Yahuwah, you are the only true living God. Thank you for your Yahusha, whom you truly love. You are Elohim, the Elohim of the Yahudim and Yasharel.
Welcome back to The Remnant Awakens. I'm Pierre Alexandre Nisiligi, Hebrew from the tribe of Yehuda. Today, we're diving into something deep, real deep. Where did Christianity come from, and how does it tie back, or not tie back, to the faith of the early followers of Yahusha? Let's start with the followers of Yahusha. What did they call themselves? It wasn't Christian, I'll tell you that much. Back in Acts 11:26, we read that the disciples were first called Christians in Antioch. But here's the catch. They didn't choose that name. It wasn't an identity they embraced. No, it was a label, something others called them, outsiders. It was like a slur, something to set them apart. They called themselves, and listen to this, followers of the way. That's because Yahusha said it clear. I am the way, the truth, and the life. John 14:6. It had meaning. It had roots. And those roots? Hebrew. Yahusha wasn't starting something new back then. He wasn't, some rebel breaking away to create another religion. He was Torah keeping, a Hebrew from the tribe of Yehuda. But something happened, something big, that changed everything. In 325 AD, the Council of Nicaea came along, and if you've never heard of it, please make a note, because this is important. The council was led by Emperor Constantine. Now, Constantine wasn't exactly a believer in Yahuwah, the Elohim of Yasharel. He was a pagan, worshipping the sun, God Sol Invictus. But here's the thing. He had power, massive power, and he wanted control over people's faith. So he called together a group of bishops and basically said, let's unify this thing. And what came out of that council? A new creation, what we now call Christianity. They changed so much. The Sabbath, it got moved from the seventh day to the first Sunday. Why? Because that's the day of the sun God. The doctrine of the Trinity, it didn't come from the Hebrew scriptures. It was formalized there at that council. And then the name, Yahusha. His name means Yahuwah is salvation. They replaced it with Jesus, a name that honestly didn't even exist in Hebrew or Greek. These changes were deliberate, and the more you dig, the clearer it gets. This wasn't about faith, it was about power. But I want you to hear this. Names matter. Yahusha, Yahuwah. These names weren't just names. They were identity, connection, covenant. To erase them wasn't just a translation issue. It was part of a strategy to disconnect us from the roots of our faith. And we'll see even more as we keep going. Trust me, it's important. Yahusha's teachings were never about lawlessness. I mean, think about it. In Matthew 5:17, Yahusha says, think not that I am come to destroy the Torah or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. So, what does that mean really? It means he didn't come to cancel the commandments or rewrite the word. No, he came to live it out, to show us what obedience looks like. But Christianity, kind of flips that message. It teaches a Messiah who supposedly did away with the law, who says, you're covered by grace, so don't worry about following commandments anymore. That's not Yahusha. That's what the scriptures call lawlessness. When Yahusha walked the earth, he wasn't just following the Torah. He was living, breathing proof of it. He kept the Sabbath. He honored the feasts. He even said, and this is John 14:15, if you love me, keep my commandments. But Christianity has taught the opposite for centuries. They say, you're free from the law. The commandments don't matter anymore. Honestly, it's heartbreaking. And I have to talk about his name, because it ties into all of this. Yahusha's name means Yahuwah is salvation. It's powerful. It's not like a nickname or just a label. It's like the essence of who he is. But when they gave us Jesus, that name, let's be real, has no Hebrew roots. It erases the connection to Yahuwah. And isn't that the point? To pull us away from him? I gotta tell you, on my own journey, rediscovering the Hebrew language and the true names was like waking up for the first time. Suddenly, the scriptures weren't just stories. They became alive, almost like reconnecting to something ancient, something holy. And, the power in calling him Yahusha instead of Jesus. It's hard to explain, but it's like plugging back into the source. And Yahusha himself warned over and over about false teachers, about deception coming in his name. He wasn't kidding. Christianity, as we know it, took his teachings and twisted them into something he never said, something that just doesn't fit the Torah, his identity, or his mission. And yet, here we are, told to believe that grace somehow makes obedience optional. That's, it's a dangerous path to walk. So, the question becomes, if Yahusha came to uphold the Torah, why did Christianity replace it with lawlessness? Where did that shift happen? It's worth diving into, because the answers go deep, deeper than most people want to look. But we can't ignore the truth. Let's talk about those texts, those books that you won't find in most Bibles today. Warren Enoch, the Wisdom of Solomon, Young Esdras. These weren't just removed, they were erased on purpose. And why? Because they held truths that the powers of this world didn't want us to see. They exposed who we are, who the chosen people really are, and what's actually going on behind the curtain. Take 2 Esdras, for instance, chapter 6, verses 56 to 59. That passage talks about the nations of the world being like spittle. It says, those not chosen are as nothing. What happens if people start reading that? Suddenly, the lie that all nations are spiritually equal in the same way starts to unravel. The fabricated masks of inclusion and replacement theology begin to fall apart. That's why it was cut. That's why they labeled it Apocrypha, something extra, something irrelevant. But it wasn't extra. It was ours. It told the truth. And was Enoch? It goes even deeper. If you haven't read it, I'm begging you, look into it. It reveals the origin of evil spirits, the actions of the fallen watchers, and the spiritual battle that we're all still caught up in today. It's clear, it's bold, and it changes the way you see the world. But they didn't want that understanding in our hands, because the more knowledge you have, the less control they have over you. And while we're at it, let's not forget the Wisdom of Solomon. That one hits hard. You can find prophecy in there. It's like it's speaking directly to us, to this very moment in history. Wisdom of Solomon 5:1-5. It proclaims the rise of the righteous, the ones mocked and despised, who will be revealed in the end. Does that sound familiar? It should. That's us. We are the righteous who have been dismissed, laughed at, doubted. And now the awakening begins. And here's the tragedy. The church, under their banners of state religion, said, let's remove these books. Let's edit the truth. Let's feed them what we can control. That's not accidental. That's colonial spiritual warfare. It's not just religion. It's identity theft. They erased us, our names, our covenants, our history, and we let them. We accepted their censored narrative, their incomplete version of Scripture, as though it came straight from heaven, but we were deceived. And it's time to acknowledge that. So, where do we go from here? It starts with breaking free from lies, from tradition, from apathy. Search the Scriptures. Read the books they didn't want you to read. That's how you get back to covenant, to Yahuwah, to truth. Stop letting religion define you. Christianity was never for us. It was made to control us. Stand up, awaken, and take back what was stolen. If you've made it this far, it's because deep down you know something isn't right. You feel it in your spirit. This message isn't just about history or theology. It's a call to awaken to your identity, to your role in this grand plan, and to the covenant you were meant to walk in from the very beginning. So, as you leave today, test everything. Pray over it. Search out the hidden truths. The awakening is here, and you are part of it. I'm Pierre Alexandre Nisilidji, and you've been listening to The Remnant Awakens. Shalom. See you on the next episode.
Praise be to you, Yahuwah my Elohim. Praise be to your Son, Yahushua my Messiah. I come at your feet in the name of your Son. Thank you for the knowledge you pour onto me, and thank you for breaking out the shackle that was bound on my face. Yahuwah, you are the only true living God. Thank you for your Yahusha, whom you truly love. You are Elohim, the Elohim of the Yahudim and Yahshua.